I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and today I'm going to teach you the Shaded Trail quilt block. It was first published in 1935 in the Kansas City Star newspaper, and it was made with templates. So what we've done today is we've made it modernized, where we are going to just use our rotary cutter. Very easy. You're going to need 2 contrasting fabrics, 1 background, and the pattern is fat quarter friendly. The free block pattern is available at fatquartershop.com. If you want to turn the block into a crib, lap, twin, or queen, we do have a low-priced PDF for the setting. So let's get started. For this quilt, we picked the Snow-Kissed collection by Sweetwater for Moda. We picked it because it has a lot of variety of colors, which is going to look really nice in your final quilt. Download the free block pattern. Pick your 2 fabrics for your first block, and from 1 fabric you'll cut a fabric A and a fabric B. From the other color you will cut C and D, and for your background you'll cut E and F. Now on this quilt, if you use a background that is truly a background with nothing else in it, your stars are going to really pop out a little bit more. And I am using color 2000 from Arfil today. So cut all your fabrics and we'll get started piecing. So we're going to start with half square triangles. We're going to take a fabric A and a fabric C square, put them right sides together, and what I'm going to be showing you today is how to make half square triangles and trim them down. And if you want to use triangle paper, you would use 4-inch finish, which is H400, if you wanted to use triangle paper instead. So what I'm going to do is draw a line in the very center from corner to corner. After I draw that first line, I'm going to draw a line a 1/4 inch away on both sides. So now you have 3 lines. What you're going to do is go to your sewing machine, use whatever your normal stitch length is, and stitch on the 2 outside lines. And again, I'm using Arfil 2000. So this is how it looks stitched. On this pattern, we found that pressing open works the best because there are so many seams. And on this one, our finished half square triangle will be 4 inches, but our unfinished will be 4.5. We made our half square triangles larger so you can trim down, and that's going to give you more accuracy in your block. So what I have here is a 4.5-inch ruler by Creative Grids. You see there's a diagonal line. I'm going to put the diagonal line right on that seam and trim 2 sides first. Turn that around and trim the other 2 sides. And making half square triangles slightly larger will give you more accuracy when you're making your blocks, or instead, if you wanted to not have to trim down, you can use triangles on a roll paper. And again, you're going to make 4 of these. So now for each of the half square triangles, we're going to take 2 fabric F squares, draw a line from corner to corner on the wrong side, and I'm using a friction pen because it's going to disappear with heat later. Now you want to make sure you put it on the corners that don't have a seam. So if you put it this direction, that's incorrect. You want to put it where there's no seam. And what I'll do here is pin, keep it in place. So you're going to stitch this time directly on your drawn lines. And it's going to look like this. And it is important to sew directly to the edge. If you sew a little bit too much to one side, it will not come out exactly 90 degrees on the outside. Trim a 1/4 inch away from the edge, and then you're going to press open. And it's going to look like this, and you will see in a little bit why we're pressing open, and you will make 4 of these center units. Now we're going to move to our red side units. You're going to take a fabric B rectangle, a fabric F square, and you're going to draw a line from corner to corner. And on this step, you really want to pay attention to your pattern because it does matter where you lay your piece. You're going to pin that in place. stitch on that drawn line, and it's going to be pressed open again, and you're going to add another fabric F to the bottom. Pay attention to the drawn line, stitch directly on it, and you're going to be trimming a 1/4 inch away on both of these, and you're going to make 4 units that look like this. And I'm going to show those to you, and it does make a difference to make sure they're all going the same direction. And then you're going to move to your next step. You're going to use the same exact technique, except they're going to go a different direction, so just follow these carefully. You're going to make 4 red and 4 green, and then we'll start assembling the block. Now our second to last step is to make units. You're going to make sure your red goes this direction, your green is this direction, and this unit is this direction. The key to this is when you are pinning together is that you pin right at the intersections where you've pressed open before. Pin those before you pin the rest. And then you're going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam, press open, and then stitch again with a 1/4 inch seam and press open. So once you sew that together, you're going to have a unit that looks like this, and you're going to make 4 of those. Then you're going to pull all 4 of those together, and what you'll be doing there is you want your squares in the corners. So here we have squares in the corners. Again, pin, and you're going to pin at every intersection that has a seam, stitch a 1/4 inch seam, press open, and then your last seam. And this is your beautiful block right here. And you can always reference to the very beginning image and just make sure all of your colors are in the right spot. And like I said in the beginning, this is a very busy block, so having a background that is very much a background with nothing else in it is going to give you the best results on this block. And you have 4 beautiful squares on point. And this is how your shaded trail block looks. And if you put one block next to another block, you will see that is why we have pressed open. And this quilt, Shaded Trail, is another addition to our Classic and Vintage series. Let us know if there's any classic block you want us to cover in this. Subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.